You've heard of Rudolph, Frosty, the elves, and St. Nicholas, but have you heard of Insure Santa? Every year he visits the nerdiest insurance nerds to grant them their biggest insurance wishes. And I don't want to humble brag, but I made the nerdy list this year. Let's see what Insure Santa brought me. A 100 NPS score? I didn't even know they made perfect NPS scores. Now that is some festive customer experience right there. Let's see what's in the big one. Another box. And another box. Oh, embedded insurance. The gift that keeps on giving. One more to open up. Ooh, an 88% combined ratio. I only had the 90% model on my wish list. Oh, I'm sure, Santa, you really went above and beyond this year. Welcome back to InsureTube. Here are your Insure News stories of the week. First up, commercial auto. In office folks, have you been enjoying a less crowded morning commute since COVID? Maybe almost as much as us work from home folks have been enjoying our sweatpants and midday puppy cuddles? Less crowded roads and higher premiums contributed to a profitable combined ratio for the commercial auto sector in 2021, with the coveted sub 100% combined ratio expected to return for 2022. But all good things must come to an end, and the commercial auto sector's brief road to recovery is no exception. Also, I don't know if the empty COVID highways count as a good thing. Early predictions for 2023 are less rosy, with inflation of both the fiscal and social kind on the rise. Claims costs are expected to rise sharply over the next 12 months. And when loss ratios go up, combined ratios go up, rates go up, and underwriting's risk acceptance goes up. Just kidding, that last one's gonna go way down. High-risk fleets are going to have an even harder time finding placement, so brokers may want to start the renewal conversation a little earlier in those cases. On the opposite end of the spectrum, as far as labor intensity of renewals go, is embedded insurance, which is spreading faster than influenza A in December. 3 promising areas picking up speed lately. Pet insurance. Of the 130 million cats and dogs in the United States, only about 4.5 million are insured on a pet insurance policy. That's a huge total addressable market right there, especially with all those millennials obsessed with their fur babies. And the best way to get potential customers to recognize the value of a new-ish product? Make the buying experience relevant and make it quick. Get that quote in their hands right when they're adopting their new bundle of furry joy. Embed it right in the process. Embedded porch piracy package insurance looks to be coming to the US on a national scale in 2023 via InsurTech's Sure and Porch Pals. If you've ever ordered a package on the interwebs, you know the emotional roller coaster that is seeing your package marked as delivered. Oh, sweet, it's here. Followed by, but there's nothing on the porch. But let's not get too fancy. One of the most promising embedded arenas is also the most traditional, banks. A recent Cover Genius survey indicated that 45% of bank customers are highly interested in at least one insurance offer relevant to their purchases and events. For digital bank customers, this number was even higher, a whopping 70%. InsurTechs often talk about creating an Amazon-like experience, so perhaps this is the way to go about it, right where customers are most open to it. So what's your take on embedded insurance? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being overhyped fake news to 10 being the future of civilization, how would you rate it for 2023? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And now it's time to jump over to our guest for the day, Nick Lamparelli, co-founder of Green Shield Risk Solutions, blogger, podcaster, and overall insurtech enthusiast and insurance nerd. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. First up is Say What, where we share an insurance-related quote to get your reaction. Today's quote comes from Inger Anderson, Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program, who had high praise for California's Sustainable Insurance Roadmap, stating that insurance markets around the world should follow the lead of the California Insurance Commissioner in developing the world's first sustainable insurance roadmap. The roadmap is a comprehensive strategy and action plan that could harness the insurance industry's risk management services, looking at insurance solutions and investments to accelerate the transition to resilient, net zero, and nature positive, inclusive communities and economies. This is not an agenda that we can take or not take on. It is the only way forward. So, Nick, do you agree that insurance commissioner engagement and roadmaps like this is the only way forward? Can we regulate our way to risk reduction?
Probably not. The best single way I can think of to stretch out a dollar of insurance capacity is to reduce risk. So I'm all for the risk management part. I'm hesitant around the regulatory piece of it. From a regulatory standpoint, regulators are generally too reactive, too politically motivated. I just don't think that using regulators or using that kind of framework is the best way to to manifest it, to get traction.
It sounds like you're saying that the greatest impact the regulators can have is empowering the industry, kind of getting out of the way, allowing the industry to use tools, to use data, versus taking the reins themselves.
History has kind of showed us that the regulators, when push comes to shove, really are focused mostly on making sure the premium's as low as it possibly can. So I do think they'd be much better off being a facilitator of information, trying to amend the regulatory framework to allow more carriers to come in. So that means more capital that's coming in, and to work through some of the issues around trying to figure out how do we reduce risk? How does a home need to be constructed? How do we incentivize homes to be more durable and more resilient? And how do we get insurance to kind of follow in lockstep with that? So I think it's more around facilitation.
Great points. That brings us to our last segment, Who's Your GOAT? Where you get the chance to share a bit about a leader in the industry who inspired you or in some way helped shape your career. So, who is your greatest of all time, Nick?
I'm gonna say someone's name, and you can search for him. You're probably not going to find him, but my best friend Patrick O'Donohue, who was a contractor, and I worked my way through college, painting houses and doing contracting work with him. And he taught me a ton about people and business and honesty and trustworthiness and loyalty around, not only how you deal with customers, but how you deal with friends and others. And so I don't think I would be where I am today. Maybe I wouldn't have even graduated from college if it wasn't for him. But he's been incredibly important in my life, just sort of as a friend and as a business mentor, and just giving me guidance.
Thanks so much, Nick, for sharing a bit about your GOAT and the role of regulation in the insurance industry. And thanks to everyone at home who took the time to tune in for some insurance news and conversation. Follow InsurTube on LinkedIn and subscribe on YouTube to catch new episodes every other Monday at noon Eastern. Happy holidays and see you soon.